Thursday, December 21st, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I want to talk about a few different subjects today. First, the markets, gold, silver, and the HUY. I want to talk about the cryptocurrency markets, an interesting opportunity, I think, in an ICO, and it's not a sponsored video, by the way. The markets. So it's just after 10 a.m. London. As I speak here, gold is spot gold 1265.50, basically unchanged. The high has been 1268.50 and the low 1264, narrow range. Silver 16.15 down 2 cents. Range has been 16.13 to 16.25. So we're creeping up slowly in the precious metals. The Dow is down 4 points, so not much there. 24,722. S&P unchanged. Nasdaq down 5 at 64.67. Currency-wise, the pound is a little stronger against the dollar, up 10 pips, so not much. 133.85. Euro 118.80, up 10, and yen up 7. The dollar up 7 pips against the yen at 113.46. So all in all, there's not much going on in the markets in terms of change in the major markets, that is. Cryptocurrencies, let's have a look here. Refresh. So Bitcoin still having a tough time here after almost touching 20,000. 16,600. Bitcoin Cash 3,477. Ethereum is doing quite well. It's up 4% here on the WorldCoin Index chart at 835. The high's been 856. Look at the gold charts and also silver chart, HUY. And I like to say that I saw an article a couple of days ago on King World News, and he had charts, these very similar charts, but they were using the futures. I've used the real spot gold, like physical gold. So I do have to give them some credit for finding this setup in the technical picture. So it's a quarterly chart of gold going back to 1970. And that red line is the 20-week moving average, 20-quarter moving average, sorry. And below you've got the MACD, and you can see when gold went up from 2000 to 2001 to 2011, that black MACD line was always above the purple. And since the market really started, crashed in 2013, that black line is going below the purple. And now the black line, you might not be able to see it too clearly in the chart, but I can tell you that the black MACD now is at minus 124.84, while the purple is at minus 139.57. So that black MACD line is going above the purple. And we're also, for the last 2 quarters, we've been, well, last quarter we closed at 1280 in gold, and that 20-quarter moving average was at 1268, and right now we're at 1265, and the that moving average, 20-quarter moving average, is at 1247. So if we close above 1247 at the end of the year, that would be 2 quarters in a row above that. And you can see as well that we haven't closed above that since, for 2 quarters in a row since the first quarter of 2013. So this would be very encouraging. Am I saying it's going to produce a really huge rally? I don't know. You never know, but it looks like a good setup. So now silver, same chart. The MACD below is moved a lot more than the gold, but silver is still below that 20-quarter moving average, which comes in exactly at 18 this fourth quarter. So it's possible for silver to move up above 18 before the end of the year. And that would be very positive. Even if it doesn't, though, maybe next quarter, next year, it will move above that fairly quickly. So the setup is really good. And you can see as well that, you know, in the bull market in 2000 to 2011, it was very similar to gold. We had the correction in 08, and that brought the silver, that MACD below, you know, the black below the purple, but it went straight back above that. So these are pretty good setups. And as I said, I'm not sure whether it will be a huge rally, you know, back to the old all-time highs, or just to above to 1500, or even just to 1400, but it looks positive. The HUY, yesterday I was following some of the mining stocks that I have, and they weren't doing well in the beginning of the day, and then I went out, didn't check them, and then I looked at it, and they're all like rebounded quite strongly. And just wanted to show the HUY index going back to beginning of 2015. You can see that the chart goes from a high around 211 in January of 2015, and then correct all the way down into, let's see, beginning of August, and then from August to beginning of, let's see, to, yeah, middle of January 2016, we see like a consolidation, market not going anywhere. And just after the new year, you know, it looks like it's going to go up, and then it comes down, and then it makes new lows, and you think, oh, you know, and that's like a capitulation. And after that, look at how, you know, we went from below 100 all the way to 285 roughly in July of 2016. And then we saw a correction into the end of last year. And then we saw it go up again. But all in all, we've been consolidating. Really, after the drop from 285, we've been consolidating basically between like 180 and like 220, so roughly staying around 200. And recently, though, like in the beginning of December, we started going down, and we broke key supports around 178, 180, and we made a low on the 12th of December at 173. And I think that was a capitulation low, just like we saw in January of 2016. So am I saying we're going to really motor up in the HUY? As always, difficult to say, but it looked like a pretty good setup. And as you can see now, we've gone back above that important low around 180, 178. We closed yesterday at 185. So that looks quite interesting to me. Crypterium, that's the ICO I wanted to talk about. Some of you might think, wow, I wouldn't put my money in that because they say they're going to be the JP Morgan of crypto banks. I don't think they want to follow the JP Morgan example of, you know, having to get, you know, being in bed with the government or the Federal Reserve. I think what they're saying, they're going to be a good, important bank in the crypto space. And I've bought some of these tokens. The ICO, I'll tell you, when it's right now, it's still ongoing. You're getting like a 3% bonus if you buy it now, the ICO. There is a bonus sale until the 25th of December. And then from the 26th of December to the 13th of January, there's no bonuses, and the token sale ends on the 13th of January. So what's interesting about this ICO or token sale, you can see they've raised already almost 36 million. The things they talk about is compliance, because a lot of US investors are not really allowed to do ICOs, but they say compliance with SEC regulation. Says we work closely with one of the best lawyers in blockchain, and the SEC regulation sphere Our legal opinion is that CRPT tokens are a utility and not a security. This guarantees a fast listing on exchanges after ICO. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I forgot to say in the beginning, is to keep an eye on the bond markets, US Treasury market, and the yields there, because they've started moving up the last few days. It's still not at levels that are dangerous, but very close to. The 10-year note yield is at almost 250 this morning. As I speak, is at 249. It stayed, it was around 230, 233 for ages until recently, and now starting to move up. The level that we need to keep an eye on is 263, 265. If we go up above that, that's not a good sign for the overall markets. I know the stock markets kept going up, but yeah, keep an eye on that one. And the other thing is the curve is continuing to flatten, and it might even invert, and that's a sign that the economy is slowing down. For example, in the last year, the 2-year note yield is gone up by 66 basis points, while the 30-year bond yield is going down by 23. So, and the 10-year is only gone down by 5. So the shorter end is catching up with the longer end. And normally, the structure of the yield curve is that the short-term yields are always lower than the long-term yields because there's more risk in lending money for the long term. But sometimes when the short-term yields get higher than the longer-term yields, when the curve inverts, that's a signal that the economy is slowing down of a recession. So we're still far from inverting, but we're surely flattening very quickly. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share it far and wide. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can also follow me on Steemit and DTube, which is part of Steemit, and on Twitter. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.